You know, one of the hardest things I hear from people your age is when their own children seem to pull away. It feels like they stop caring, like you don't matter anymore. But listen to me. This doesn't mean you've lost your place in their hearts or in this world. Today I want to gently share 6 simple things you can do to protect your heart, your health, and your confidence. Let me start with something I've learned the hard way. Sometimes the best thing you can do is hold your dignity close, even when it feels like your children have left you behind. It's natural to feel hurt when they don't call or seem distant. I see this pain all the time. When we get older, our hearts crave connection even more. But sadly, some adult children drift away, busy with their own lives. You may catch yourself waiting by the phone or counting the days since their last visit. That ache you feel? It's real. But reacting with anger or heavy words often only pushes them further away, leaving you feeling even more alone. I remember one woman I worked with. Her name was Mary, 74, from El Paso, Texas. She used to tell me how much it hurt when her son John stopped calling as often. Every time he finally did, she'd greet him with the words, "You forgot me again, didn't you?" It broke my heart to see how each call ended faster than the last. John began calling even less. One day she came to me in tears, asking what she'd done wrong. We talked about how sometimes, without meaning to, we build walls by reacting with hurt instead of love. Mary decided to try something new. The next time John called, she didn't mention the silence. Instead, she smiled through the phone and said, "I'm so glad you called today, son. You know what happened? Their calls slowly got a little longer, a little warmer. Not perfect, but better." What often helps in moments like these is practicing kindness instead of pouring out your hurt. When they reach out, whether it's once a week or once in a while, try to respond with simple warmth. A "thank you for calling, it means so much" can open hearts more than 100 complaints ever could. Remember, your dignity is something no one can take from you. Hold it close like a soft blanket on a cold night. You are still worthy of love, even when it feels distant. And sometimes that quiet strength you show becomes the very thing that brings your loved ones back to you. Here's something I often remind people of. Sometimes the waiting hurts more than the distance itself. I've seen many older adults spend days, weeks, even months hoping for a visit or a phone call that never seems to come. And while waiting feels like the right thing to do, it can quietly steal your joy. The truth is, our hearts were never made to sit in silence, holding on to hope without action. The longer you wait, the heavier that silence feels. And the sad part is, your children might be waiting too. Sometimes they don't call because they think you're too busy, or they don't want to bother you. The distance feels bigger on both sides. I once worked with a man named Henry, 71, from Fresno, California. Henry used to sit by his living room window every Sunday, hoping his daughter Emily would drop by like she used to. Week after week, she didn't come. One day, Henry told me, "I guess she just doesn't need me anymore." But when I asked if he'd tried calling her, he shook his head. "I didn't want to seem needy," he said. That week, he finally picked up the phone and left her a simple voicemail. "Hi, honey, just thinking of you. Hope you're well." Emily called him back the very next day. She told him she had been missing him but was waiting for a sign that he wanted to hear from her too. That small step opened the door again. One of the simplest ways to reconnect is to take the first step yourself. A short call, a kind message, or even a postcard can break that heavy silence. It doesn't have to be long or perfect. Just a gentle reminder that you're thinking of them. You see, reaching out first isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength and love. Your heart still knows how to build bridges. Don't be afraid to take that first step. Sometimes that's all it takes to start walking toward each other again. Let me share another truth I've seen time and time again. Sometimes we build our whole world around our children without even realizing it. It feels natural, doesn't it? You've spent so many years caring for them, loving them, putting them first. But when they grow up and pull away, it can leave a huge empty space in your life. That space feels lonely and cold. You start to believe they are the only ones who can fill it. But when all your joy depends on one person, especially someone who may not show up like you hope, your heart begins to ache even more. I remember Robert, 76, from Phoenix, Arizona. He used to tell me that his life had no meaning anymore because His sons rarely visited. His days started feeling long and heavy, spent mostly in front of the TV. He told me, "I'm just sitting here waiting for life to happen again." One day we talked about what used to bring him joy before his family grew distant. He mentioned his love for fixing old radios. I encouraged him to find a local hobby group. It took courage, but he went. Week after week he started meeting people who shared his passion. Slowly his world got a little bigger, new friendships grew. His days didn't feel as lonely. And guess what? His sons noticed the change and started calling more often, curious about what he was up to. One of the best things you can do is gently open your world again. Look for a local club, a senior center, or a hobby you once loved. Take a walk with a neighbor. Go to the library. Life has many doors. You just have to knock on one of them. You're not meant to live in a waiting room. You're meant to live in the world. Every new step you take for yourself is a step toward filling your days with fresh light, no matter who's standing by your side. I want to talk to you about something that often gets pushed aside when the heart feels heavy. Your health, your body, and the way you care for yourself when life feels lonely or unfair. It's so easy to stop caring for yourself when your children seem distant. I've seen it many times. People skip their walks, eat whatever's easy, or stop taking their medications on time. It's almost like your body starts to feel as forgotten as your heart. But let me tell you, your health is your greatest ally, especially now. When you take care of your body, you're reminding yourself and the world that you still matter deeply no matter what's happening around you. Let me tell you about Susan, 68, from Sarasota, Florida. Susan used to be active. She loved walking every morning and cooking healthy meals. But after her daughter moved away and calls became rare, Susan started to lose her energy. She told me she'd wake up and think, "What's the point today?" Days turned into weeks, and one morning she slipped and fell in her kitchen. Thankfully, she wasn't seriously hurt, but it shook her up. That moment became a turning point. She realized she had let go of the one thing she still had full control over, her own well-being. She started with short walks again, even if it was just 5 minutes around her yard. She began cooking simple, healthy meals just for herself. And you know what? Her energy slowly returned. She felt stronger, steadier, and more alive. What often helps is finding one small thing you can do each day for your body. It might be stretching your legs, drinking more water, or simply taking your medications on time. These little actions build up over time and help you feel more in control. Taking care of your health is like planting seeds in your own garden. With a little care, you'll see new strength growing inside you, reminding you that you still have so much life to live, one small step at a time. You know, one of the quietest pains I see in people your age is the feeling of holding everything inside, wanting to say how much you miss your children, but staying silent because you don't want to sound like you're complaining. Or maybe you do speak up, but the words come out sharp like blame or frustration. It's not your fault. When the people we love most seem to pull away, it's natural to feel hurt. But holding it all in or spilling it out as anger only builds a bigger wall between you. The real key is learning to speak gently, with honesty and love, without making your children feel guilty or pushed away. I remember Peter, 70, from Dayton, Ohio. He told me he hadn't spoken to his daughter Sarah in weeks. Every time he thought about calling her, he got stuck on the words. He didn't want to sound needy, but he also didn't want to pretend everything was fine. One day after we talked, he decided to just speak from the heart. When Sarah finally answered, he didn't start with "you never call me" or "why don't you care?" Instead, he said softly, "Sarah, I've really been missing hearing your voice." There was a long pause on the line. Then she started to cry. She told him she had been busy, yes, but she also felt like he didn't want to talk to her anymore. That honest moment opened a new door for both of them. Their calls became more regular, and their connection felt real again. What often helps is keeping your words simple and warm. Try saying something like, "I miss you," or "it makes my day just to hear your voice." These little phrases open hearts without pressure, keeping the conversation safe and kind. Your voice carries love. Even the smallest words, spoken with kindness, Have the power to heal. You don't have to hold it all inside. You can share what's in your heart, and you might be surprised how much your words are needed. There's one more thing I'd like to share with you today. Sometimes the peace we're looking for comes when we stop holding on to how we wish things were and start accepting how they really are. I've worked with so many older adults who carry around a picture in their mind of how their children should act, how their family should feel. And when life doesn't match that picture, the disappointment can feel like a heavy weight on your heart. But holding on to those old expectations can quietly rob you of the simple joys still left in your life. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means opening your hands to what's real right here, right now. I think of Linda, 73, from Spokane, Washington. Linda had one son, David, who had changed over the years in ways she didn't understand. He lived differently than she hoped. He didn't visit as much. She spent years wishing he'd go back to being the son she used to know. One day, after another quiet holiday alone, she told me, "I think I've been holding on to someone who doesn't exist anymore." It was a hard truth, but a freeing one. She decided to let go of her old picture and start seeing David as he was, imperfect. Busy but still her son, she stopped waiting for perfect visits and started enjoying the small texts he sent. Over time, their relationship began to feel lighter and less strained. One thing that often helps is practicing acceptance. Notice the small moments that do happen, a short call, a memory that makes you smile, or even just the peace in your own heart when you stop expecting everything to be perfect. Life isn't meant to fit into a perfect frame. It's more like a patchwork quilt, full of pieces that don't always match, but somehow they come together to keep you warm. You deserve that warmth, right here, right now, just as life is. If any of these thoughts touched your heart today, I'd love to hear from you. Share in the comments what felt helpful or what you've learned in your own life. And if you'd like more conversations like this, go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to tap the little bell. Remember, you are not alone. You are stronger than you think, and life keeps going when you're brave enough to reach out and hold it close.